outside of that though, like I don't know, I don't know, it's more of the same in it. Like we do this with Chelsea every year. Like people get gassed, like Don gets gassed about Chelsea, and then he'll be tweeting all season, "Oh, Caicedo, bad man, best midfielder in the world," and then they won't be able to beat relegation candidates Brentford. Like, look, I'm personally,
Brentford ain't relegation candidates. I don't know where people are getting this from. Brentford,
yeah,
I don't know if you've been watching them. They have not been bad.
yeah, that's all.
They have not been bad.
That's all.
They have not been bad.
Hey,
I've been
relax.
keeping a close eye. I've been keeping a close eye, and I told
you
fans
have.
before the game. I told all Chelsea fans before the game they might have lost Wisa, they might have lost what's the name, Mbuemo, but I'm not looking at a team that looks like they're gonna go down to me, bro.
Yeah, that's all well and good, because if Chelsea won that game and I made the exact same comment, you'd be like, "Well, you know what? I think they might go down." You know, so everything feeds into your Chelsea agenda, like, and it's cool.
I didn't predict a scoreline though. I didn't predict a scoreline.
Yeah, that's all well and that's all well and good.
Can I agree? Can I agree with Hooks? Hooks said something there which I wanted to say yesterday, which is the truth. Like, what are we doing here? I'm seeing Reece James and the Chelsea man clapping the fans like they put on a performance. Man, then you lot cost 1.5 billion, almost £2 billion, and you want to clap against for getting a draw against Bournemouth, bro. Did you see how small that stadium is? That stadium is smaller than your training ground. 16,000 seater stadium. That game should not be close.
Brentford being a Bournemouth
that for me was the bummiest performance out of all the teams this weekend. We've got the Giants, the upper class of Chelsea, and we got the peasants of Brentford. I don't mean that Brentford fans, you're not peasants by any stretch, but a team that is worth 1.5 billion should not be huffing and puffing like a werewolf against a team that probably costs about 200 mil.
Yeah.
What are we doing there, bro?
Yeah, the thing is, Don, like, you do this a lot, right?
Yep.
At the end of the day, you did this with Palace, right? When we talked about the Palace draw, Saturday, well, Palace are a good team. You know, they won Charity Shield, and they won the FA Cup. And I put it on you, and I said to you, Don, if you're supposed to be challenging for the league, you can't be dropping points at home to Palace. And now you're doing the same thing again. You're hyping up Brentford. Brentford are a good team, you know. They're not that bad.
I'm not hyping up Brentford. I just don't agree that they're relegation fodder. I don't agree that they're relegation fodder.
We know the Don flow chart. We know it, man. We know.
They lost 3-1. Look at the results. They lost 3-1 to Forest. They lost 2-1 to Sunderland. Right.
I've been watching them, bro. Not just watching the results. I've been watching them, bro. They have not been bad.
You're a £1 billion team, world champions.
Hold on, Lewis. Where did I say?
World champions.
Hold on, Lewis. Why do you? This is what I'm saying. Why can't you comprehend what I'm saying? I don't agree with Hooks' statement that they're relegation for them. But at the same time, Chelsea should have beaten them.
I said relegation.
Repot is in the chat. I was talking to all these Chelsea fans that were coming in. Oh, Brentford easy game. I said no, it's not going to be easy, bro.
It should be.
They're not that bad.
What did you predict?
I predicted 2-0. I predicted 2-0.
But it should be an easy game for you, because they will be in and around the relegation zone this season. I'm pretty confident of that. I'm not saying they'll go down, but they'll be around there. They're going to have not the best of seasons. You should
Let's talk about the game.
The goal between Chelsea and Brentford should be massive, right? This should be a comfortable game, or fairly a win. You should win. That's a terrible result, Don. It's not good enough.
Can I also just say,
of course it's not.
This disgrace of a team, this so-called West Londoners, had Jordan Henderson like he's rolling back the years. What the hell are we doing? Jordan Henderson was matching that midfield. I mean, for me, when I saw that,
best midfield in the league.
I am done.
Best midfield in the league.
Best midfield in the league. Can't handle Henderson. Crazy. 2025 can't handle Henderson. Man, you know what? Yeah, like obviously,
our midfield's crazy.
The only thing.
Get it all out.
The only thing I want to ask you a question. Yeah, genuine question. No trolling. Yeah. Do you think that Crystal Palace at home and Brentford away are games that you can afford to draw if you want to be competing with the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City for the title.
Broski, we have to be winning those games. But end of the day, Hooks, the good thing about it is game week 4, right? There's still a lot of football to be played. Unless you're going to come and tell me now that Arsenal aren't going to drop any points to these little relegation for the teams, right? Unless you're going to tell me Liverpool,
I don't think we will. I don't think we will. But
then there we go. There we go.
I don't have a crystal ball.
We're now fifth in the table, but the difference between 5th and 2nd is literally 1 point. And right now we're still unbeaten. Yeah, we're still unbeaten, homie.
Yeah, but that don't matter because like that doesn't matter. Like, you can't say it's game week 4, so it doesn't matter that I'm dropping points, but then say, "Oh, I'm unbeaten in game week 4."
I never said it doesn't matter.
Right.
I said
it doesn't matter. Like,
of course it matters. I'm just saying that it could be worse. Yeah, and listen, right now, yeah, listen. Yesterday's performance, bro, especially that first half, I was not happy with what I was seeing. Right, I thought Maresca messed up in terms of playing certain players where he did. For me, I don't understand what's happening with Mark Guiu right now. I know it'll be funny to some people. Oh, Guiu, they don't know about this guy. He's the only striker in this team, the only natural striker that we have. Maresca came out the other day saying, oh, Guiu was the only striker that we have. So why the hell is he not in the squad? You go and bring Tyreek George into the squad and play him up top ahead of a guy that you have said is a natural striker. Yeah. That first half, it was very clear to see what was happening, bro. Enzo and Caicedo, no problems in the midfield. They were dominating that midfield, right? For the most part, Tosin and Chalobah, defensively, they didn't really have much to do. I know there's a few times where, obviously, the ball tries to get played over the top, but they dealt with it, right? Gittins, for me, in this game, you can clearly see that this is a player that needs to build on his confidence. I don't know whether now, in this era of content creating, in the era of content creating and social media, you're not allowed to give players time. Every player should come in and hit it off straight away. But the reality is
don't do that. No. Because you was quick. Don't think because you're quick to insult with Victor Gyökeres, but now all of a sudden with Ginson, I've got to give him time.
I've not insulted him. I've actually been
defending him. You man all there are wearing jeans, Timberlands, all them things there. But now all of a sudden you wanna Gittins has to have time, bro. I said Gittins was Noni Madueke with the headband. I feel like that's disrespectful.
I'm not gonna cap, bro. Gyökeres plays like his shin pads are as the size of his leg, like he just bounces. He does play like that. I've also said Arsenal, the way that you lot have been playing, you have not been playing to his strengths. I've been defending the guy, bro. So you can't.
And he's still working. And he's still
anyway, like I was saying, bro. We'll talk about your team in a sec. Let me land my point about tactically what was wrong. Gittins, for me, like I've said right now, he looks like he's playing within himself. He does not look confident right now. Yeah, and he shouldn't be starting for Chelsea right now. Anyway, I've already spoken about this even when we signed it. Yeah, the right hand side, Neto, for me wasn't that great in the first half. I thought Buonanotte was actually quite tidy, but we weren't giving him the ball enough. And then João Pedro up top, he was getting bored. Man was leaving the centre-backs, bro. There was bare times in the game. I'm looking at the centre-backs, and they're just having a picnic. They're just talking to each other because João Pedro has fucked off and now he's playing in midfield, right? And that's what happens when you play the likes of João Pedro without a striker a lot of the time. He wants to get on the ball. Second half, João Pedro is obviously up top. Palmer comes on. The likes of Palmer, the likes of Reece James, the likes of Cucurella, they helped us change the game. We started to push them back a lot more. João Pedro's running in behind a lot more. Palmer gets that goal because João Pedro was giving him that space. João Pedro backed off, knocked the ball back down to him. We end up bagging, bro. Yeah. And then for the second goal, like you're saying, Garnacho comes on and you're seeing the intent on the ball, right? Once again, like I said many times when we signed this guy, I didn't want him, but he's a good player to bring off the bench. And you can see why. Yeah. Comes off the bench and he helps us change the game on that side. That should have been the winning goal. Because Caicedo, once again, was brilliant in this game, bro. The amount of times he's winning the ball back was mad. You know what I mean? But defensively, of course, you're going to talk about Tosin one-on-one again. But again, people, this is why Tosin is a squad player. I know people are going crazy. Tosin should do better. But we know Tosin is not good one-on-one. We know this. Yeah? We know he's not great one-on-one, bro. We're gonna see many times this season where he's one-on-one against someone and he's struggling to deal with it because he's not that guy.
By that equalizer, he's not good in the air either, Don.
But then hold on. But then why are you playing Fofana on the right-hand side? Because Fofana could have actually come back for that goal, but he was like sort of jogging a little bit, and he didn't help him out. The second goal, Hooks has already covered it, bro. why is everyone set up to the near post and not winning the ball? If you have so many players at the near post, you have to be winning that, right? But of course, people are going to focus on Garnacho because the last action was Garnacho's man, yeah? And even away from that, bro, it was offside. The goal should have not stood. Yes, the defending was shocking, but it was offside. But that goes back to what I was telling you 2 weeks ago. I told you.
Was it actually offside though? I haven't seen it.
It was Hooks. The guy they got from Bournemouth, yeah? He started off in an offside. Yeah. He started off in an offside position. The ball goes in, the Brentford player flicks it on. My man comes from an offside position to get in the way of Reece, so Reece can't clear the ball, so he's interfering with play. It lands to my man, he taps it in. It is a clear.
Does he touch the ball though?
Bro, he interferes with the play, bro. It doesn't matter if he touches the ball or not. He interferes with the play. Reece couldn't clear the ball.
I didn't hear this. I didn't hear all this last game against Fulham with the VAR. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
You're comparing. So hold on, Potts. So Potts, you want to compare a subjective foul, right? Because some of you are saying it's not a foul. For me, it was a foul, right? To a fact. The facts are that was offside. By the rules of the game, by the rules of the game, like I said to you 2 weeks ago, the rules of the game, that was offside. That goal should have been disallowed. And we ain't gonna hear nothing about it. But these lot were scared. They weren't gonna give it to us. They weren't gonna give it to us, bro.
Wait, did you just call? Wait, you're referring to the Josh King thing when you the Muniz thing when you're saying subjective foul?
Of course it was a foul.
You've played football. You know that's not a foul.
Bro, I played football, and that's why I understand that it's a foul.
Oh, yes. You know that's not, bro. He's spinning on the bro. How can it be a foul when, if anything, Chalobah tries to foul?
No, he didn't. He messed up the skill and stepped on another guy's leg, bro.
The skill.
He didn't mash up the skill, bro. I know. We need to bang ball together.
I'm gonna do it.
The way I've seen it. It's a two guy. I know your Goalkeeper is on the pitch. No. I didn't
see me at the. No, you saw. Hey, we was kicking ball at the Never a Foul barbecue. You saw man sending you nice passes.
I wasn't kicking ball with you at the barbecue.
Yeah, you see me said. Yeah, you was. See you sending
you nice. Some little garden. I want to play with you properly, bro. Big pause on that as well,
bro. You don't want to play with me because you get lift up into the sky, bro.
Oh. You're not. I promise you're not taking the ball off of me, bro. I'm 20 years old. Yeah, they used to call me.
You're flying, bro. Fly Emirates, bro.
They used to call me Donaldinho, bro. But like I said, Donaldinho. Yeah. They used to call me. They used to call me Donaldinho, bro. Yeah. You're not getting the ball off me, Hooks.
You can't show
the Hooks versus Don 1-on-1.
We do, man. We need to hook up a 5-a-side or something. Let me ask Deji this Chelsea. What do you think of this Chelsea talk before we come to Arsenal, man?
Bro, look, I agree with Hooks, bro. Like, none of us is surprised. I'm not surprised. And Don is doing what he does best, which is, look, Don went to law school, so I expect him to put forward persuasive arguments week out. The fact of the matter is, Maresca is on fraud watch. He's a bum. And Chelsea, like, I can't even believe that Don is trying to defend that result yesterday. When you look at,
I didn't defend the result.
Look at those players, and you look at what they should be doing, and they're looking bummy. For me, right now, someone asked me a question yesterday, and I said it, and I didn't stutter. Has my prediction for the season changed? I said yes. Top 3: Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal. It's that simple, bro. Like,
wait, in that order.
In this thing, like,
in that order.
No, not in that order, but top 3 in one of those ways. But Chelsea are not in it. They're not involved, because if you don't know by now, after a whole season, the thing I think is that sometimes too much of something can also be your Achilles heel. He's got so much talent, he don't know what to do, bro. He's overwhelmed, man, looking morose. Bro, that goal, we all knew it was coming. No one was surprised by the equalizer. All we did was say, yes, they did it. Because you would have scumbagged the result yesterday. You could have
scumbag.
You were about to scumbag.
How do I scumbag?
You did nothing, bro.
Bro, are you mad? The second half, Deji, you know the second half that we were, bro, these men were on ropes, yeah? I was starting to see my broski. Man, need to remember, yeah, it's game week 4 for one. It's game week 4. Maresca completely changed the team. A lot of those guys have never played together before, bro, as a collective, right? I think that's Gittins' his first start in the Prem. Hato, I think that's his first start in the Prem. Fofana just coming back from a long hamstring injury, bro.
But you know why, though? You
know why? Like, you have to build chemistry, bro, with these players.
Chemistry. Do you know why? Who are you playing this week?
Bayern Munich on Wednesday.
That's why. So the reason why he rotate, but what Maresca showed us, people keep putting to Spurs Thomas Frank. Is Thomas Frank going to be able to manage Champions League and the Prem? Well, Thomas Frank has shown you that he can, because we rotated in the location, we got the points. You did rotation in the location and you bummed it against Brentford. What happened when you played Newcastle? I can't trust him.
Palmer, if anything, if he was more clinical, he scores a hat-trick off the bench. He scores the hat-trick off the bench, bro. Pedro Neto literally gave him the ball in the box, and he instead of going the way that Kelleher came from, he decided to try go the other way cutely, and Kelleher gets the save on it. Hawks has already spoken about the cutback to Palmer, right? We had some chances in that second half. Even if they scored that goal, Dej, we win that game 3-2. We win that game 4-2, right?
Don, we're not in Earth 2. Yeah, this what ifs. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. If my aunt had wheels, should be a bike. This ain't the Marvel multiverse, bro. Like, just hold it. You didn't. You get it. Doesn't matter what could have happened. It didn't happen, bro. Now you got some big problems arising on the horizon, bro. Because if you got Bayern next,
they're gonna get whacked.
I'll tell you what I'll say, right? And I love Don, and Don is one of my favorites, man. I can't even lie. Like, listening to him, I love the fact he just defends and defends and defends, right?
I don't defend, bro. It's when you aren't trying to be fair.
You're low block.
Trying to be fair.
No, you are parking the bus, bro. You are low block.
It's when you lot aren't trying to be fair. That's when I will defend the club. But if you're saying things that I think are fair, I'll keep quiet. I'll keep quiet.
I heard
anything fair.
I heard a lot of this last season. If Jackson would have scored that, we would have won. If Palmer would have put that in, we would have won the game. I could have done that with so many results last season, man. But when we weren't good enough, I just held the L and said, you know what, this manager did it, or this player was whack, or whatever we want to say, right? I looked at Chelsea and I was underwhelmed. Now, I wasn't underwhelmed by 2 performances, Caicedo and Palmer. I don't know where you'd be without those 2 players, man. I think they're ridiculously good.
Enzo, don't forget Enzo. Enzo was quality in the game. Quality, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? He's been quality for some time, in my opinion. Enzo, right? I just look at Chelsea and they just are exactly what I thought they would be. I'm not sure if Maresca's the guy. I think he's a good manager. I think he's proven he can win stuff, but I don't think he's the guy to take you to the next level in terms of the elite. And I've said that about my manager as well. And I also do think that defensively, there's at times some kind of hiccups with Chelsea. And I appreciate across the season you were okay in terms of your record defensively. I don't rate Sanchez, although it wasn't the issue yesterday. And
Sanchez again, arguably man of the match, but you won't talk about that. I'm sure if Sanchez made some mistakes yesterday, though, you'd be quick to talk about it. Why don't you talk to me about
I'm not talking about yesterday.
Why don't you talk to me about the saves he was making yesterday, Potts? Why don't you talk to me about
here we go.
That doesn't change.
Because it's what Potts likes to do. Like I said, people, he doesn't want to be fair. If Sanchez was making mistakes yesterday and was having a howl,
did I blame him yesterday?
He would be quick to come here and talk about it, right?
Don,
Sanchez has a very good game yesterday. Right? No. Sanchez has a very good game yesterday. So does Enzo. You don't say nothing about it, bro. You don't say nothing about it.
You know why? I'll tell you why I won't say it, right? Because I'm not going to sit there and go, what a draw against Brentford. Sanchez, unbelievable performance. If I did that, people would be like, is Potts all right?
No. Wait, hold on. We're analyzing the whole game. I'm not asking you to look at the result and do result-based analysis. I'm asking you to analyze the performances of each player. And I'm asking you specifically to talk about Sanchez. How was Sanchez yesterday, Potts?
What are we praising goalkeepers for?
Okay.
Are you Potts?
He was okay.
You want praise? You want praise for goalkeepers saving? You want praise for goalkeepers saving goals?
What are you doing? Mr. Potts, can you please tell us how Sanchez was yesterday, please?
I thought he was okay. He did his job. He made some good saves.
Okay. It's okay.
But did I say that he was the reason?
It's his job.
Yeah, because if Donnarumma's making those saves, man are gonna be slobbing off my man, you know. Man,
do you know what?
He doesn't have credit in the bank, though. He doesn't have credit in the bank, bro.
Donnarumma made a world-class save today.
This is what I mean, though. This is what I'm saying, Potts. This is the problem that I've got with you when it comes to Chelsea. You like to just focus on the doom and gloom. You never, ever hear you say, "Oh, this guy was amazing. This guy was this."
So I didn't.
It's only the guys that you like.
I never picked up Palmer. I never picked up Lovely when we signed him. I never told you Reece James's quality. Rubbish. You do
it for the popular ones. No. What you like to do, you do it for the popular ones. The ones that are unpopular, like Sanchez, right?
Unpopular for a reason, Don.
The ones that are unpopular, the ones that people like to cook, you will never give them credit, even when they do well, because it doesn't suit your narrative, bro. It doesn't suit your agenda. You do like I just told you, like Sanchez, bro. Yeah, like Sanchez.
Jackson, who went
only recently. Yeah? It's only recently you've been praising Enzo a little bit more because he's been shutting you up. But if it was up to you, you wouldn't want to talk about this guy.
When they shut me up, I'll shut up, innit?
That's my point.
Sanchez has got zero credit in the bank for me to go, oh, he did well when they drew against Brentford 2-2.
Bro, do you know how good this guy was in the Club World Cup, bro?
Wow. Last season, but
he still had shaky moments, Don. He still had shaky moments, even in that final.
Why do hold on? This thing here. Let me just say something because I hear this all the time. Shaky moments.
You don't even want Sanchez in your goal. You want to upgrade on him.
I know I want to upgrade on him, but I can still give him praise. But hold on, Potts. This is what I'm saying, bro. We're having a multi-layered conversation, right?
Is he your bedroom?
I can want an upgrade on Sanchez, but I can give him credit when he's playing well. Regardless of me wanting an upgrade, that's another conversation. But I can give him credit if he's playing well, right? And when people talk about, but he was still shaky, bro. I see world-class goalkeepers still making errors. I watched Alisson the other day for Brazil come out like a madman. Yeah, the ball must have got him. He came out like a madman. Yeah, I don't know why people think. I don't know why people go on as if every goalkeeper or world-class goalkeepers are flawless in every action. It's not that.
Sanchez has previous
watch more teams, and you will see it for yourself. That every goalkeeper makes mistakes, bro. Bro, what mistakes did they make yesterday, bro?
I'm not saying every game, but I'm saying there's so many examples of him making mistakes that when you can't sit there and say, well, it's like Alisson makes mistakes. Alisson doesn't make mistakes consistently just because he hasn't done it yesterday. Because he has that bozo moment, we got to praise him, Don, because he ain't been a bozo for a game. Like,
I mean, that's one of the but that's one of the hold on, Lewis. Why would I not praise a goalkeeper who's one of his biggest problems is how much of a bozo that he normally is? If this guy is trying to get rid of the bozo, hold on, Lewis. If he's reducing his mistakes, why would I not want that as a Chelsea fan? That doesn't make any logical sense.
No, I'm not saying you want
he's improved, which helps my
hype. You want him to prop. Oh, why didn't you say how good Sanchez was for not being a bozo? Well done, Sanchez. You weren't a bozo. No, still letting 2 goals though. Still letting 2 goals.
Which weren't his fault. Which weren't his fault. He had a very good game. He had a very good game. Very good game. We can't talk about it. We can't talk about it though. We can't talk about it.
Standards are in the mud.
We're not allowed to.
You want us to praise Sanchez for saving shots. He's a goalkeeper. It's like, what? Should we now praise strikers for taking shots? Like, what are we doing?
So when you're doing your little review, you don't talk about Rea. Oh, Rea made an amazing game.
Yeah. I give it like I don't go. Rea saved some shots today. Of course he did. He's a goalkeeper. That's why he's there. He's meant to save shots. What are we doing? You can't stop a goalkeeper for he made less errors than he usually does.
Okay, so let's not talk about Gyökeres scoring then. He's a striker.
What are we doing?
Gyökeres should be scoring goals.
What are we doing? The one thing that a goalkeeper should be able to do is save shots.
Hold on.
That's the whole thing. The main aim for a goalkeeper is keep the ball out the back of the net. Yeah. When you do stupidness, and people notice the stupidness and call out the stupidness, not even rivals, your own fan base, call out the stupidness.
Including myself.
It's not on us as rivals to prop up Sanchez. We're rivals. We don't want the best for you anyway. So obviously, when he doesn't do things, we're gonna call it out. But we're not gonna sit here, oh come on, this is London, and be like, oh, by the way, guys, did you see how many shots?
Add one thing to this.
No. Before you come in, Potts, that's fine. With that logic, bro, I'm not giving no praise to Gyökeres or anything like that.
No, anyway.
He's a striker, and it should
be anyway, man. You told me his shin pads are the same size as his legs.
That's the set six logic. That's the set six logic I'm hearing right now.
Let me add this lastly, and then we'll move because we've got to close with Arsenal, right? Let me add this lastly, right? The one thing I'll say, Don, right, and what people I think will find hard is you want us to kind of say, "Oh, Sanchez had a really good game." Yet when it's Saka, you don't have the same energy. It's always, calm down, man, calm down. You know what everyone comes to you as Saka. You know people come with you as Saka. Saka has to be elite. We got Arsenal fans got to calm down. But on the same breath, you want us to go, Sanchez was unbelievable today. And it's not going to happen, bro. It's not
but hold on. What is this waffle, though? Because the receipts are right there. All you've got to do is go back to last season before he got injured. And I was propping him more than anyone in your team, if anything. He was your best attacker. He was your best player before he got injured.
You've been harsh on him before, I like.
So the receipts, harsh. What? Because I don't rate him the way some of you guys rate him.
Yeah, exactly. That statement there. So exactly that statement there. You don't rate him as much, which is fine, by the way. Yeah, but then you can't then say we're out of order for not saying Sanchez had a good game in 1 in 5.
No, wait, hold on. You can't compare. You can't compare me saying that Saka is overrated to you not being able to just say, "Yo, Sanchez had a good game." You can't even bring yourself to doing that. You can't even bring yourself to doing that. But I'm telling you now, people. I'm telling you now. If Sanchez made a bozo howler, it would be in the title. It would be in the title. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about, people. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? Don literally defends Chelsea like prime Maldini, bro.